What's up, everybody? This is Karak with ACG. I may not have the best, green screen, best camera, may not have the best audio system, may not even have a studio. This is my bedroom, but what I do have is a PS5, and I want to say thanks to Sony for shipping me a PS5 for this review period. I'll be able to basically play it, check it out, and give you guys my thoughts. As you guys know, they gave it to me, and whether a developer gives me a code or hardware companies give me hardware, I buy a copy of every single thing I get and I give it away. So subscribe to the channel. I'll be giving away a PS5 apparently. But I went ahead and jumped into this and started opening these a couple days ago, and you'll see some pictures here. My basic thoughts on the hardware and the physical outsides, which is what we're able to talk about today. We'll do later embargoes for some of the other stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about is the unit itself. This is something that I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on it because I think we've seen breakdowns, that kind of stuff, and I'm not rich enough to be breaking down my PS5 and be like, look at the innards. I don't think that that's cool anyway for somebody like myself. But I will say this, I opened this thing and it felt a little bit like when I saw the GameCube for the first time or saw the Dreamcast for the first time. That difference in scale compared to the prior generation is always so shocking. And the original difference, just turn my phone off here, the original difference between the GameCube and the Dreamcast was sort of awe-inspiring to see that step down in size from some others. And it was really something that was quite compact and quite different. And each time we've got a little bit different of a system. Here with the PS5, it's massive. And you're talking to somebody who's got a PC ATX, massive case over here. And even I was a little daunted when I took this out of the box and looked at it. It was just like, holy crap, it really is that big. The thing is a monster, and I like some of the designs that I didn't think I would like, and I want to talk about the outer shell first. So the outer shell, it is a softer, smoother kind of plastic. It's a type of plastic you'd see on a high-end Dyson fan, if you've ever seen one of those, or basically a little bit higher end than I think that we've got in the prior consoles, but not necessarily maybe what somebody who's expecting high-end electronics to have when it comes to receivers. Like if you have a nice stereo receiver or something like that, it's not metal like that, and it doesn't feel the same way. It's this plastic shell that, while it's good, there is a bit of flimsiness there when it comes to the actual horns that jut off of this thing. But that being said, I got it. I grabbed the stand. I looked at it. The stand works really well. Somebody who has an Alexa, both the small ones and the tall ones, you got to watch out if you're putting anything vertical. That's just going to be something that everybody's going to have to take their own moment to sort of decide what they want to do. But I was looking at this, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the horns themselves. And the reason why is because now that I have it at my house and I'm looking at it and hearing it, and I can't talk about anything really other than that, is that I believe that those are there probably to wick away the heat from the body of the unit itself more accurately, not more accurately, but more proficiently. And I think that's actually a smart decision. I think that that is something that I wasn't expecting. And I looked at those originally. I was like, why are they there? What are they doing? They're not antenna. It's not like a router that we would see where you get the horn router. And I could not really understand exactly why these were set up this way. Now, though, that I look at it, I think that's what they're there for. And it's sort of an intelligent design if that actually assists them. A lot of people will look at it and probably be, you know, your mileage is going to vary on that. When I took this out and I decided vertical, horizontal, I'm going horizontal with mine. It's got a recessed DVD player, Blu-ray player, which sort of fits, well in the way I have everything set up to have mine horizontal. Now, in most people's setups, if you're a European or an American or pretty much anybody, I think we all have somewhat the same basic cabinet dimensions for hardware. So I think most people are going to, if you're going to have this vertical, it's going to have to be outside. If you're going to have it horizontal, you can fit it in almost any of the normal cabinet spaces, and it juts air all the way around it when it's on. So getting away from that, you've got your one USB hub in the front, which I'll talk about in a second, your two in the back. It's a very basic setup and very PC-like. This is something that I think it's actually good. Both of these companies have sort of gone more the PC route, and while they've decided to attack what I think is probably a large amount of heat wicking off these, even though their wattage isn't necessarily crazy, especially for any of us who've seen 380s and 3080s and 3090s and what those damn things suck down. You still look at it and you can sort of understand where they're going with this and how the setup is. So All of that being said, I like the design. I'm actually quite impressed. I also was impressed by the, of all things, the power and the reset button. Now, a lot of people may not agree with me on this, but I was never a fan of the PS4's weird buttons, the way they were sort of level in. It just didn't really work for me. It was never something I actually liked that much. And if you don't return to the system very often, I'd be like, okay, which one? Both, and hit the wrong one on accident and eject the disc. It was no big deal. It was just something that I never felt really hit with me personally the way maybe Sony thought it was going to. This one, the buttons are just there. You can feel them. It's very easy. It's very, onomatopoeia. It's a little bit more, I would say, set up and basic like you would see in a PC versus something that's maybe a higher end tech where they have something, fancy and touchscreen. Additionally, on the back, you've got your 2 USBs and everything's just set up, like I said, basic, but I don't know if I'm going to eat crow for this. That controller so far, I can't talk about anything other than Astro, the Playroom game. That controller is wicked. That controller is wicked feeling. I'm just going to say that. In your hand, that controller is as comfortable. You guys know me. I've always sort of went towards the 360 Xbox One for comfort, less so the PS4. This one maybe isn't as comfortable to me personally as the Xbox, but I think people who get their hands on it might understand now where I'm coming from, because damn, son, it is comfortable. That was crazy to see that. The triggers have less throw than I thought they would. There's something about them that, because they are the tactile controls, or tactile triggers, they're gonna have haptic feedback and all that. There's something to them that feels a little bit different, and that'll take me a while. But you're coming off of the PS4, and I wouldn't say it's a dramatic departure, but it's somewhat of a departure. However, when you get this in your hand, one of the things I personally noticed that I do not like is the power button for the PS4 or the PS5, the PS button itself, which is going to take you home. It's going to do a bunch of stuff. I was hitting the mute button all the time. So that'll be something I'd like to see what other people think of that. But as a controller, as it's set up now, very, very comfortable. It's more robust feeling, and it's just more contoured than I personally expected, and I like that. I also got an HD camera, which I haven't got a chance to check out, and a dual charger that'll charge the controllers themselves, which I think will be useful, because you look at a system like this, you look at any new systems, and you're always counting those USB ports, right? This is something that, the PS4 had hubs that you could buy, and it would add, USB slots. All the competition did as well. So here you've got your one on the front and 2 in the back. And I can certainly see, especially if you start adding things to it, like in the future, a VR system of some kind, that could be an issue. So the idea that, you get a dual charger that's sort of separate is really nice. But what you have, at least so far, is a massive system. This makes the George Foreman grill of the PS3 feel small. It really does. And that might be just memory talking and, just the forgotten years of the PS3. But the PS5 is a monstrously huge system. And it'll be funny to see what people say, and intriguing to see the different processes people go by, how they get it, and where they put it in their room. I think a lot of people may try to do something where they put it behind their TV to slightly to the edge, beside it, that kind of thing. It's going to be very cool. It is a very good stand when it comes to be vertical, though. I can say that I've had it set on both carpet, very short shade carpet, because the heat isn't jetted down, to see how that would work if somebody decided to put that in front of their TV. And then where I normally would put mine, which is on a wood base, and it works fine. But anyway, those are my thoughts so far. Big highlight, that controller, man. Bang. Oh, last but not least, I got the headphones. Man, I'm going to have to buy all this and give it away. That's going to be a lot. Anyway, I got these things and I looked at them. Whether you like open-backed or closed-backed headphones, whether you like the cups of the, earphones on your ears or over, headphones are so crazy, right? Everybody likes a different thing. I like different stuff than you do, and you just sort of have to understand that. I got these and I looked at them, and I'm going to tell you right now, I saw them and I'm like, oh no, those don't look like they'd be comfortable. They're very thick, ear-muffed. They look like they would not be. Luckily, trying them on, they are. One of the best benefits to this is, while there is a lot of area for the cushion, and I'm thinking some of that is so that they can make sure you are really have an acoustically sound area for them to do their testing for the 3D audio and stuff like that, because that's what this headset is. But it is closed as well. It's the fact that the headband itself has a very low amount of tension. It's not an incredible amount of tension to really be tight on the ears and push in, which you get in some headsets, especially as headsets start to add into the ear foam. It's very comfortable so far, but we'll have to see, long extended periods of time. That's about all I can talk about when it comes to the hardware. There's multiple embargoes here, and this is the one that we can talk about the hardware and the unboxing. You'll see a lot of videos. Some people probably break it, but that's just, I'm going to hold to these 100% as I always do. So far, I have to say I'm really mightily impressed by that controller, though. I came away with that because to me, the case is one thing, but that'll go somewhere else, right? I mean, I know a lot of people love to have their stuff hanging up. If I did, I'd probably have a totally different background than these fake stars, right? I'd probably have a bunch of toys and stuff, which I do have, but it's not as important to me. So the idea that the controller, though, is this comfortable, that is such a boon, because I personally believe that that is just the most basic of needs for me personally, is to have a good interaction between me and the system, whatever it is. And whether it be mouse and keyboard, whether it be a controller, whatever, it has to be comfortable, it has to be form-fitting, somewhat natural. That controller, that's sort of what I came out of all this with, was like, hot damn, I like that controller. And that was probably the biggest surprise and the greatest one I've had so far. We'll see if that continues as we move forward through the month. So anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys liked the video. Remember, I give away a copy of every single thing I get, which now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So I'm going to have to go figure that out. But if you're subscribed, you can go ahead and get a chance to do that. Once again, Sony did supply me with this, and that's why I'm giving these away on my own dollar as well, so that my money is on the line just like yours. I got to say, though, so far, big positive, that controller. And the earphones. The console, hey, it is what it is. It'll be probably somewhat hidden on my personal shelf. But I can see a lot of people coming away from this and going, damn, that's either a monolith and awesome, or damn, that thing is huge. Where are we going to hide it? It's just, that's sort of the way I think when it comes to hardware, how it always works. So anyway, that's it for me. If you liked it, like I said, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your week.